Islam, 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 and welcome to Moor's Heritage and History School. This is your host, Anita L., and I am trying to, my computer is doing a little bit of what appears to be a malfunctioning, and I cannot get back to my internet page. So I cannot unmute my co-hosts yet. Wow, this is the first time this has happened. So let's see. Let me see if I can do something else. While I'm waiting, let me just say welcome to Moor's Heritage and History School. Chat room is not open yet because I can't get into the internet to open it up. So what I'm going to do while I'm waiting for my computer to come back to life, I might have to restart it, is I'm going to go through and list our Moors who have been kidnapped and are being held hostage while I wait for my computer to come back. Come back to life. Trying to open up another window in a different program, but that's not working. Anyways, each week we make a public notice of Moors who have been kidnapped and are being held hostage. These are Moors who have been kidnapped, employees of corporations who come in disguise as government. We have been mentally conditioned to believe that these counties, cities, township, boroughs are government when in fact they are private, for-profit corporations, once again disguised as government. Because we lack this information, quite frequently what happens is we simply protest, we don't sue, we don't do anything, not because we don't want to, it's just that we do it because we don't know that we don't have to. So, these Moors across the nation are being kidnapped and they're being held hostage. I might have to just X out of here because this is not even doing anything. They're being held hostage and they're being held hostage for income by these various different corporations.
Islam.
Oh, Islam.
All right. Just a second. I don't know if that's me causing sound wave back. But
all right. Can you hear me? Can you also hear me? Because I was able to unmute. Just give you
I'm great.
I heard you.
I was wondering what happened there.
I don't know. It's your computer, but I got in and I did it. Now, give me Cujo's first three numbers that he's on, and I can unmute him.
Cujo is a little bit under the weather tonight.
All right. Okay, then we're good.
And I'm getting feedback.
Might be me. Let me try something. Might be me. Hold on.
For sure.
All right. Is it gone now?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Yeah, okay. I don't hear it. Yep.
Yeah, well, I was too close to my
Jack in. Jack in. All right.
That was wild. Let me just finish. Of course, I'm able to get in under another under another tab now that you're in. Let me just finish. We have, I want to finish making this public announcement, and because I already started it, so I might as well just finish it. These Moors, they're kidnapped and being by these various employees of these corporations, and they are being held for hostage. They're literally being held for income, which is absolute human trafficking. Without further ado, what I would like to do is just we have a list of these Moors, and we make this weekly announcement listing the Moors that have been kidnapped and are being held hostage. So we start off with our sister Abkare Bay, who's kidnapped through a joint venture between Memphis and Shelby Corporation under the purview of Tennessee. And what we do is these counties, if we have the name of the county, we make mention of that. If we don't, then we just list the union state that is obligated to make sure that the all people are safe from foreign and domestic invasion. So if we don't have the county corporation, we just make mention of the union state that's obligated. So then we have Daoud Il under the purview of Arkansas, Amir Moslemin Il and Kusu Ra Kushbay under the purview of Missouri, Asar Patan and Monroe Bay under the purview of Ohio, Jeremy Taylor Il, Cherry Thorn Bay, Jamie Cal Brooks Bay, Joseph Kanaday Il, Kushamir Bunch Il, Emmanuel Billings Bay, Yassin Khalid, Alamin Il, and Michael Curry Bay, all held under the purview of North Carolina, Noble Crisco Il under the purview of New Jersey, Messiah Aziz Il and Crystal Il, both kidnapped under a joint venture between Mercer Freehold and Trenton Corporation under the purview of New Jersey, Eldridge Teron Fisher Il and Marquis Savion Il under the purview of Indiana, Solomon Il Bay, Mumi Abu Bay under the purview of Texas, William Baird Il under the purview of Virginia, Bomani Abidwil Il, kidnapped by Chesapeake Corporation under the purview of Virginia, Chere Bay under the purview of West Virginia, Thomas Lee Bay under the purview of California, Eduardo Awaye Juarez Il, kidnapped by Harlem Corporation under the purview of Georgia, Patricia Bay and her infant baby, as well as Malik Il Bay, kidnapped by Atlantic Corporation under the purview of New Jersey, and Daniel Ney Fear Cox Il, kidnapped through a joint venture between Allegheny and Pittsburgh Corporation under the purview of Pennsylvania. So those are our Moors that have been kidnapped and are being held hostage. So if you have information about a Moor that has been kidnapped and is being held hostage, and you would like us to add them to this weekly announcement, please send their free national appellation, the county, city, town, township, borough that has kidnapped them, along with the union state that they are in purview of, to MHHS-Eyes Wide Open @gmail.com, and in the subject line, just put kidnapped Moor. All right, I think I'm back in the control panels, and chat room is opening up, and so you will be able to get into the chat room. And so want to send a big shout out to our internet listeners. I do everything kind of out of order today, but it's all good. Then send a big big thank you to our internet listeners. Peace, Islam, and peace to our family listening over in Great Britain, South Africa, Japan, the Netherlands, and I believe the Philippines. Peace and love, and also to our family listening over in Mexico, Venezuela, Brazil, and Cuba. Peace and love. Thank you for joining each week, and can't forget our callers. Big shout out to our callers. Thank you so much for joining in and listening and, lending us your energy as we together uplift fully humanity. Thank you so much. So now, as you know, this is Sister Anita along with my co-hosts, Ms. Raheem Alice-Hill and Rosmariah Bay. And we do not have Cujo because he's just a tad bit under the weather, but if he can't stay away, of course, he'll press 1 and join the conversation. So, Islam, everyone. I got the controls back. Thank you, Roz.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So funny that it chose that moment to just freeze up.
Yeah, you know what? We just did Sister Setting a lot, and on that other computer, I still had it up, and that might have something to do with it. So
wonderful.
I took it down and put it back up again. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was great, boy, because I probably would just be getting in.
Teamwork.
Yes. So let's get into our subject matter of today's broadcast. So many things have been happening. I trust that others are feeling a change in the energy. Something is definitely on the horizon. It's just showing up in so many different ways. I mean, we damn near didn't have a winter this year. Hallelujah.
Hold on.
Look, it's returning back to La Maria, the land of the Moors, and that was one of the prophecies. It's like when the consciousness raises of the people, it actually changes the energy and the weather patterns. We have more strength than they do. They knew that. That's why they was trying to do all those weather-changing things. And so when the weather starts getting warm again, that's how we know consciousness is rising. Ha-ha.
Indeed.
Yeah.
We don't have to go in on it like that, but I figured since it came up, and it's, we here with the best on the subject, if anybody would briefly touch on the subject of quote-unquote Groundhog's Day, since today is February 2nd, and they say it's Groundhog's Day, and depending on the groundhog shadow, you're supposed to have more or less winter or spring. Is that a myth or is that a fact? Because if nature is on a fixed course, does that have anything to do with anything related to astrology for real, or no?
What do you think? Possibly it has to do with the fact that, as you know, every other living thing is connected to every other living thing, right? Every living thing is connected to every other living thing, and animals of different sorts have different senses. It's just like when, when we have the typhoons and different actions in the ocean. I don't remember the exact, but sharks move to places, for instance, where they normally weren't because they get the sense of it, So a groundhog stays in the ground, so naturally, I guess it would have something to do. I don't know, maybe someone else can add to that, but
yeah, because I was basically just thinking we all know astrology, cosmology, but I'm just saying for the aspect of those who believe that, based off of a groundhog shadow it changes the fixed course of nature. That's basically what I was trying to open up for. But I didn't want to stay on it too long, just talking about the seasons. You know what I mean? Since it was brought up about the winter, you know. And with that, I yield the floor because I know there's much to talk about. But since today is allegedly that day, acknowledged it in intellectual way, I would say. You know, that's all.
Yeah.
So,
I got what you're saying. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have heard through the years modern Europeans talking about it, but I don't know nothing about it.
Right.
I mean, I guess I would have to do research because, my thinking is, because we are so out of touch with nature, we don't pick up on things that animals pick up on. So it's not necessarily a Groundhog Day. I think it's just the sensing of the vibration that animals are able to pick up. And we can too if we just, get back in touch with nature.
For sure. I absolutely agree. Indeed.
Yeah. But let's get into our discussion. Today's topic of discussion is kind of sort of like dovetailing off of last Tuesday or Wednesday. I think Wednesday. Where do you come from? What's your nationality, or does citizenship apply? Where were you born? Some of these questions we hear, it's like a challenge to us because we really didn't, and I'm really going to go out on a limb and say this, but I'm going to say we really don't think about, we haven't really absorbed the prophet's statements and what he strongly advised. But when we're asked these questions, where do you come from? We're generally not asked, what's your nationality, because that would be just too much of a dead giveaway. Does citizenship apply? Where were you born? These are questions that are asked of Moors. The answer to these simple questions will affirm or negate what you have documented and sent out. In fact, it is a new verbal affidavit proclamation of your status. Hence, Prophet Noble Drew Ali strongly advised the following: if you do nothing else, declare, i.e., be clear about your nationality. Be clear about your, because that's what he's saying. If you don't do nothing else, be absolutely clear about your nationality. Why? Because he knew this day when you would be challenged about what your nationality really is was going to come. And this thinking, it came about because I don't know. I was just going through something, having these revelations, and I have this revelation, so to speak, where I realized that places like Ireland, Italy, Russia, England, these are all corporations. Hear me when I say this. These are all corporations. Where do you come from? So if you say that you come from any of these corporate constructs, you're literally negating the proclamation that you put out. We Moors, the Aboriginal indigenous people of this land, we are not corporate fixtures. We're not attached to any corporation. So, and so when you profess or declare or proclaim your nationality, it creates a huge issue for these modern Europeans because
when you profess that you are a Moor, you do not tie yourself to any corporation. And that's why they attempt to trick and trap you by asking you questions like, where do you come from? Where were you born? These are trick questions. This is also why, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, everything he speaks on says it's all about the mother. And if you truly, truly get that, you understand just how honoring your mother, which is also your father, will free you. Because where do you come from? The only reply you can give is my mother. Now, that's not to say you should be, obnoxious or argumentative or anything. It's a matter of fact. Where do you come from? My mother. Hence, no jurisdiction. Now, the incorrect reply might be Italy, Ireland, Russia, even America, because America is not a nationality. It is a land mass. So when you do not attach yourself to any of these corporate constructs, you're not admitting to a corporate jurisdiction. And so this becomes really, really annoying to these modern Europeans. So once again, if you state that you come from, on this landmass, most people will say, where do you come from? Oh, I come from Connecticut, I come from New York, or California, Los Angeles, Florida. Even if you say territory, you don't come from no territory. You come from your mother. So if you say anything other than your mother, you have just proclaimed that you come from a corporation, and now they take jurisdiction. This is truly a national and international issue. But only you, out of your mouth, can profess who you are. No one can change that. And that's why, we talked about that sister last week who, she was speaking from lack of information, she was speaking from lack of information, observation. And some of the things that she said was very unveiling. And it's really not to say that it's a mockery, the actions of the Moors that she was speaking about was a mockery. We should never take it that way. We should actually take it as a lesson, because, to be quite frank with you, it was because of that information, that lesson, somebody else, that it dawned on me. Wow, we are not tied to any corporation, and this is why they have a problem with us. Let me just say why that is a huge problem. Because as Moors, we're Aboriginal indigenous to the land. Now, when I say we're Aboriginal indigenous to the land, under the water is land. Under large bodies of water is land. So we are, in essence, saying that we are Aboriginal indigenous to planet Earth. Now, if you look at a lot of the corporate constructs that have been established, over in Great Britain is a corporation, and the head of that corporation was called a king or a queen. Over in Russia is the name of a corporation, and the head of that corporation was called the Tsar. There was no Germany back then. It was only Russia. The head of the corporation France, the head of that corporation was called the Dauphin, and over in what they call the Middle East, which was like the Byzantine,
Byzantine Empire.
I know it, but by the Constantinople, which is also, Byzantine, and the head of that family was called the Caliph. Now, when the modern Europeans was established as a nation, their corporate construct was the United States of America. And the head of that corporation is called the president. So this all came out of, listening to the sister speak and realizing, which we were heading in this direction anyway, realizing that we can never be attached to any of these corporations because we're Aboriginal, indigenous to the land. Now, modern Europeans, they are a modern construct or a modern creation of the Moors. And because they're not Aboriginal, indigenous to the land, their citizenship, not nationality, their citizenship, which is really speaking on how are they protected, it is based off of where they are born, but never the Moors, because the Moors is dealing with nationality, which is national origin, which is all about bloodline. So we never had any type of we didn't participate in what they call citizenship. However, they try to blanket us under it today as a way of changing or switching or muddying up the waters. So for modern Europeans, they call themselves Irish, which means they come under the protection of the corporation that is called Ireland. But the Aboriginal indigenous people of that land, they were never called Irish. Never. The modern Europeans who were under the protection of Russia, they are called Russians. But the Aboriginal indigenous people of that landmass were never called Russians. The same thing with Great Britain, China. China is a corporate construct. The Aboriginal indigenous people of that land was called Manchurian. All right, and those are actually a Moorish family. So when the prophet said, if you do nothing else, clear your nationality, he's basically saying, look, if you don't do nothing else, you better be clear about your nationality because you're going to get challenged. And it's not necessarily a challenge that you have to prove, because that's part of the trap. Thinking that you have to prove your nationality. You can never prove what is a matter of just appearance. You are whoever your mother was and is, or your great-grandmother or your great-great-grandmother. You are whoever they are. And we have got to comprehend that. And this is why he said, if you don't do nothing else, be clear about your nationality. Be clear. Nobody can challenge you. Nobody can give it to you. Nobody can take it away. It's not an issue that is up for discussion. Islam?
Islam, for sure. Peace and love on that note. And most certainly, I mean, because we are who our ancestors are, for sure. And it's just a lot that goes with that. And it's simple, as you said, it's not an issue that's really up for debate. We have more than enough facts to show and prove we are who they say we are not. You know what I mean? Or who we say we are, which is really what is all that matters, is knowing yourself and being yourself. You know, as a son, I respectfully say this. You know, I know who I am. I know where I come from, and I know who my mother is. But when I think of how did this form manifest us here, all I could think of is something you can't describe, like energy that exists, because everything platform had to be laid first, which was Mother Earth. And let's say we as men or minds, and when I say that, I mean it in the context of minds, like before we manifested in the flesh. Coming here, you know, if it was our idea, it still had to be an energy that was unseen, just like air. You know what I mean? Like we had to, I don't know, it's something like, to me, it's like this. We can't live without air. Air is a creative energy that sustains the universe. Like we couldn't speak without air. These are things, all the elements are connected. Excuse me. I don't mean to go too far out. But as you said, nationality comes from the mother. And the main question is, where did she come from, right? We know we got here through her. And the main question is, where did she come from?
That's why they say I'm the son of a widow in a lot of the secret societies, Masonic orders.
Islam. That's exactly right. I don't think there's any other logical explanation. It's not that I'm trying to debate that or anything. When I look at that and see that and understand, you know, anatomy, you know, the difference between us, the creative organs and all of these things, how they were so perfectly arranged, like what designed that thought? Everything is a thought, right? Because we know that the Englishmen, as they claimed themselves, are hybrids. So we know that was an earthly endeavor to make a hybrid. But what I'm saying is, being as though we're Aboriginal, you know, people say we come from Sirius A, Sirius B, and all of this. Not that those energies didn't help manifest everything, because everything is connected, but just the fact that we didn't just fall out the sky in the flesh and somebody survived in perfect form. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, it's a subject that just goes on. But again, to me, it correlates back to the fact that we are, in fact, indeed Asiatics, and that appellation holds a lot of weight on a multitude of levels, politically, physically, metaphorically, etc. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think Noble Drew Ali was slacking when he mentioned about the Asiatics correlating back to angels. I really don't. But that's just a divine aspect of our national aspect. I know there's a lot to talk about on this subject, but that was my piece on it, really thinking about it from, like, not to be segregating our nationality or anything like that. Just as the position of, all right, I know I come from a mother, but what manifested this form is the primitive question. The logical answer is a energy unseen. To me, I don't know, but that was my piece on it. With that, I yield the floor. Pardon me.
Yes. Yes, you know, funny. Did you get that text? I mean, we want to continue on that, but when you're ready, someone did, before we go into...
oh, yeah.
You got it, too?
The brother Giassi.
Giassi, right.
Yeah, that was an excellent observation. I was saying, man, you should call in. But that was an observation, you know what I mean, was great, because he went and did the research. And as the question was asked, what's the origin of Groundhog's Day? He said that it actually is the midpoint between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. That's really what's going on.
Wow. That means it's 90 degrees. It's 3.
Right. Yeah. That math was beautiful. Math was beautiful. There's always something to everything they try to put out there as something else. You know what I'm saying? And I know I didn't know that that's what it meant. I just knew it was something fishy about them saying we either going to have 6 more weeks of winter or 6 early weeks of spring, when the fixed course of nature is just, it is what it is. So that makes more sense of it now with the ritual they're really doing. Because I didn't know, I didn't even think that, but that's great, you know. So wow.
Yeah, and that's astrological again, because all time and movement is that based on, you know, any degrees, any movement, and all of it really is. So instead of them saying that, they use a groundhog.
Yeah.
In nature,
which is the earth animal, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I all of that just had me thinking of every living thing is connected to every other living thing, and that nothing is for nothing. You know, everything has some sort of meaning. You know, they veiled things for a while. I'm not saying everybody should just, you know, feel like we should celebrate quote unquote Groundhog's Day, but now, having the math of that, that's really the midway point, or the 45-degree angle, the 4 and the 5, 9. Excuse me, I don't mean to take this out of context. I know we're going in on nationality and birthright, and, you know, but all of this is interrelated. You know, all of this is interrelated. You're talking 45 degrees, if that's the halfway point, which 4 plus 5 is 9. 9 months in the womb, all that science is interrelated. And I just think that it is really something fixed in nature, come from that, you know, that our origin is from, like, you know, and that has nothing to do with any type of corporation. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were born on planet Earth. One thing I was revisiting, as far as just basic studies, I was looking at the 14th Amendment again, speaking on, you know, our true natural origin, and correlating it with this 14th Amendment. And you brought up the difference between nationals and citizens, which is, it needs to be emphasized too. Also, on what type of citizenship. And we all know the 14th Amendment is not valid. It's really not valid. It applies to corporations. But for those corporations that are used as, in the context, the word persons is used. If you look it up in the 4th edition, you already know it refers you to persons in the 14th Amendment, meaning corporations. But if you as a natural person think that that's your citizenship, not just because, you know, Noble Drew Ali says so, because we're re-emphasizing it, but because of the facts and the law, right? That even in the 14th Amendment, they did something slick and tried to hit natural people with a dual citizenship in one territory. Because I'm going to read this verbatim. Amendment 14, which is not official constitutional law. We're talking almost 100 years after the original Constitution was ratified. All right. Amendment 14, Section 1. It says, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and, which is conjunctive, of the state wherein they reside. So if you really look at it, they try to give you a dual citizenship for two quasi-corporations in one clause, one section of the 14th Amendment. Now, that's not official citizenship because it doesn't apply to natural persons. Though it specifically, if you look up the word persons in your fourth edition, it tells you that that's for corporations. So the corporation never could be the land. The land is America, Morocco, Asia, etc. You know what I mean? That would be the official citizenship, if there was any. You know what I mean? For natural people. I don't care what your nationality is. If you're in the Western Hemisphere, the only legitimate citizenship, and I'm not saying nationals, I understand that. But what I'm saying is the only official natural citizenship is American citizenship, opposed to United States or in the quote-unquote state wherein they reside. Because, like, let's say somebody come from, quote, France, and, you know, they say, well, because you're in the United States, you have dual citizenship. But what about those natural beings who are already here and really never were artificial people? United States and the quote-unquote states, which are quasi-national, it's two fictitious jurisdictions, fam. You know what I'm saying? Because the only true citizenship is American in the Western Hemisphere, or Moroccan, or you know what I mean? And that's it. It's a big difference. So with that being said, I say that in law, United States citizenship and state citizenship are not natural. Those are the things that are not natural, for sure. Documented fact, you know. These are corporations. And like you said, America is the landmass. So if a corporation is operating on the landmass, the corporation's jurisdiction doesn't supersede the landmass. It doesn't, because that's just what's fixed in nature. Like, without that platform, nothing would be existing here. So you can't circumscribe that to a corporation who really only has a 10-mile square radius of territory allotted. Really, it doesn't add up. So being competent on the territory and clear of your nationality, you know, means a lot. And, you know, with that being said, I yield the floor, Sam.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All of this is so very important, and as you said in the beginning of this broadcast, that, you know, they use little trick words. So some people, you know, they have been maybe reading some stuff we say, and we'll say, well, you know, if they ask you where do you live, like say if they ask you that if you're in a so-called courtroom, because we discovered clearly that that's not what they are, but they'll ask you that because they know that through your own words they're gaining jurisdiction. And if you say, well, I live at 555, you know, West Street, New York, or whatever Union State you would say,
Yeah.
they immediately know they have jurisdiction over you, and they immediately know that you don't know, truly don't know, because you could never say that, because that means that you're saying that you actually live in a corporate jurisdiction, and then they just kind of roll over you, like, you know, because they know that's the trick stuff, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And that's what they do.
They might not ask, like, I'm just speaking from experience. They might not say, you know, what is your nationality? You know,
yeah.
They might not ask, you know, where you come from, but what they might ask, and they might ask any one of these, but I know from my experience, they asked, where were you born? And I already knew they was talking about 14th Amendment language.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, North America. The reason why I just was sticking to the lessons, whereas Father Noble Drew Ali said, why are you Moorish American? Because you're descendants of Moroccans born in America. Simple, right? So sticking to that basic statement. when they asked me where was I born, the natural response for me was North America or America. You know what I'm saying? Because I already know what game you're playing based off the language. And then he kept asking different, like, well, were you born in the United States, right? So right then when he asked that, I already knew that he knew it was a difference between what I was saying and what he wanted me to say. This was just my experience. You know what I'm saying? So the question being, where was I born? You know what I mean? That was my answer. And he couldn't do nothing with it at all. You know what I mean? Well, I did have to, I just basically said to end the back and forth bickering, I said I was born in this region of North America, in this area, of North America. You know what I'm saying? I didn't say where or anything like that, but I never confessed a corporate jurisdiction or the United States jurisdiction. Because when I said North America, it took it way beyond his quasi-jurisdiction. You know what I mean? And he know that United States is a quasi-jurisdiction. They know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? And when I said that, I could have been meaning Canaan land. You know what I mean? I could have been meaning wherever. So the landmass, as you said, is important to know the distinguishment between that and the corporate Roman United States jurisdiction, the difference between that and the quasi-national jurisdiction of the states. Because, again, if you look at the 14th Amendment, though it's not valid for those who claim and bring actions under it, you got to understand that they're trying to hit you with a dual citizenship in one tract of land. Like, you don't even have to be a citizen of, quote-unquote, any place across the Great Atlantic or across the Great Pacific. You know what I mean? Like, they're trying to give you a dual citizenship in one landmass. You could have never went out the borders of North America. Corporations' intent is to do. So that's something to look at and comprehend and know that it does not apply to you as the natural, true, and living being that came from a natural mother, as declared and proclaimed in the proclamation paper, period. You know what I mean? Because when you look at it, it says, you know, I, born of a natural mother, et cetera, to affirm. So you have to keep in mind that in the law of nature, corporate jurisdictions don't have standing. And that's just that's really where it's at, for sure.
Islam, and I'm just on the note, on the so-called dual citizenship.
Yeah.
On the dual citizenship. Dual citizenship is really where two corporations are claiming, or I should say two corporations are making a claim, because they're really, for the Aboriginal indigenous people, the issue is not citizenship because you're nationals.
Yeah.
For modern Europeans, the issue is citizenship, because they're saying that this is the family of planet Earth that is protecting me. And it's usually one family on planet Earth that, because you can't be adopted by two different families. It's not really possible. So really what they're doing is they're making a corporate claim. And unfortunately, it is a trap that a lot of doors fall. Because I have people in my family that claim to have dual citizenship, and, that's not possible. Think about and this is how you know this whole dual citizenship thing is a fraud. Think about it in terms of bloodline. You don't have two bloods. You don't have two mothers. You only have one.
Mm-hmm.
So you could never have a dual citizenship. That alone lets you know that something is up with this whole concept of citizenship, because you can't have two mothers. We're talking about your nationality.
Right.
And so you only got one mother. Even if the mother is a surrogate mother, you still only got one mother.
Yeah, but that just further proves the points we're making about the difference between citizenship and a national. That they are there. I mean, that also proves that, because we're not, like you said, we're not talking about citizenship anyway. You know what I'm saying? That's for other people who come to another land to take up citizenship. Well, I mean, you know, citizenship in a whole, again, as we said 1,000 times, if it wasn't for the national, there wouldn't even be any need for citizenship ranks. But clearly there is, and people can, you know, take their citizenship, they can change their citizenship allegiance. But what you're saying is, as we had discussed on Sisters Standing on Law, that definition said with the exception of political allegiance, because political allegiance is based on your nationality. So if they're not claiming nationality, they can say, oh, I got citizenship here and I got citizenship there, but they're not talking nationality. You see? So citizenship in that respect does not apply to nationals, because they're the ones who are the citizens here. We're the nationals.
Yes.
That's the point that's being made.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
Yeah, right. Which means that we have to.
But then you gotta understand these quote unquote new Moors who are trying to bring actions under, you know, United States citizenship, you know, in the name of Moors. Like, excuse me, not the name of, pardon me, very much, but in the appellation of Moors, Moor Science Temple of America, and we doing this for Noble Drew Ali. Like, fam, where did the message go wrong at? You know what I mean? Not just any person. Like, when he specifically said that there's no need for the application of the 14th and 15th Amendment. It couldn't be emphasized more, but, I mean, it could be if you study more, but, you know what I mean? That was a jewel for real.
Yeah.
Certainly. You know what I mean?
Also, the other thing he said, man, is when he said, you know, when a man, you know, don't paraphrase me, quote me on this, I think it's a message to him. No, Divine Woman to the Nation. He says, when you ask what your nationality is, and if you don't to what it is, you will be molested, or you will, you know, be mistreated by however the other citizens wish to do you. Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
And he always says, my people and the citizens. I mean, he's telling you right there. So yeah, where did the message get messed up? Because he says you have to answer to the nationality, but I think what you're seeing is people get confused between nationality, citizenship, and the whole nine.
Right.
Not confused. They don't study enough to figure it out.
Right. Yeah, basically that's what it is. But I trust everybody keep unfolding on their path in their studies. You know, that's just basically what it is. With that said, I'll just say this before I yield the floor. We know we are relatives with the Asiatics, those in the East. Mentioned this before, but I just want to emphasize this because it's a lot we can learn from each other just for the fact that we exist, you know. And there's people in the world that exist that we may never meet that, you know, are doing things now that whatever, you know what I mean? But there's a lot that we could learn from the East, and I just want to add this on before I yield the floor again. And this is from Institutes of International Law, page 42, by Richard Wildman. And again, he says, in the East from the oldest times, an admissible character has been kept up. Foreigners are not admitted into the general body and mass of the society of a nation. They continue sojourners and strangers as all their fathers were, and of course as their mothers were, so not acquiring any national character under the general sovereignty of the country, and not trading under any recognized authority of their own country. They have been held to derive their present character from that of the association or factory under whose protection they live and carry on their trade. So again, just emphasizing that corporation, correlating back with the factory, you know, these are concepts of their association being corporate, not just in the West, but in the East. Because, like, even when they came up with these different companies, like the West Indian Company, the East Indian Company, you know what I mean? Everybody wasn't Indians, you know, but these were the type of factory, corporate constructs they were dealing with then. I just wanted to emphasize that again, and you see that leaked over into the artificial law of the 14th Amendment. That's my emphasis. Islam.
Wow.
Islam. Alrighty. Well, let's see. We got about 59 minutes left to the live internet feed. And what that means is at 11:30, let's see, at 11:30, the internet is going to go down, and after 11:30, you will not be able to call in and listen to the remaining hour of the show. So what you might want to try doing between now and then is call 347-945-5899. See if you can get in before 11:30. If you're not able to get in before 11:30, then wait until after 12:30, download the archive, and listen to the last hour. All right, so with that, what we're going to do is we're going to start taking some callers. If you have a question or a comment, press 1 on your telephone dial, and we will begin taking callers. All right, caller 267760, you are live on the air. Please state your appellation at Northwest Maxim.
What is that? Yes, good. Yes, I'm calling today. I'm from the Philadelphia territory, Northwest Maxim, and my name is Tyrone Howard L. Calling in, say I listen to the show, I enjoy the show, and today I'm just absorbing the knowledge. I've been doing my studies and downloading the information that's available from the show. I thank all of you, all the hosts that's given this information. It's been a number of years I've been in communication with Moors. I even grew up with Moors in the Philadelphia territory, but I didn't obtain any of the information of this sort until I started getting in contact with this side of it and knowing people in this particular side to understand it on this level. And thank you. I'm so thankful for the Prophet Noble Jew Ali to give us the information and bestow us the information to get us to where we're at now, so we continue being active to make things happen for ourselves, to make things better for ourselves, and to give the knowledge to the ones that can actually hear the knowledge. But thank you all you hosts and everyone listening.
Islam.
All right.
Islam.
Wow. Peace,
Oh, no.
man. Word.
Yes, so
Yeah.
Down at the York House.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I definitely come through there, and I've been regular, but I missed my last meeting. I've been out of town, so I'm gonna try to make this upcoming.
You didn't miss it because of the snow. They didn't even have it. It's like this Saturday. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good. Okay, so I'll be able to make it this week. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's good to hear. I'll be able to make it this week then, because I'm thinking I'm headed back possibly Friday, so I'll be able to make it for Saturday.
All right.
Oh,
yeah.
Indeed.
Thank you all once again.
Mhm.
Continue the good work, and I'll continue listening and studying.
We'll see you at the class then.
Yeah, all right. I'll see you at class.
All right.
Mhm.
All right, caller 216-860. You are live on the air. Please state your appellation at Northwest Mexico.
Islam. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Islam.
Yeah.
Islam. This brother Daniel. How you guys been? I should say.
Yeah, fine.
Great, bro. How about yourself?
Man, I've been locked up in Cuyahoga County Jail.
What?
But it's a good thing, though, because everything happened for a reason. I was able to wake up a lot of brothers in there, and Allah saved me from going back down a road that I long left. So everything happened for a reason. It was actually a positive thing for me and for a lot of brothers, too.
All right.
It's a lot of, that Moorish American was going around in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they couldn't handle it. They was, changing protocol, trying to keep the feds out. You know, they got that Tamir Rice thing going on, too. But there was a couple other Moors in there. One of them was Dr. Corey Kane L. Bay. You know.
Corey, I don't know if I know that. From what territory is that? I know Corey.
I'm sorry. I moved. I was in the Connecticut territory. Sister Anna E.
Oh.
She remember, but I had moved back to next to the Cleveland territory, near Cleveland territory.
All right. I got you.
Some things
Did you say
happened,
they were trying to wear the feds in there?
No.
Oh, I thought you said feds. You said feds. Okay.
Mm-hmm. No, it was just, one of them things where I had moved back to this area and kind of was falling back into some old habits.
All right. So then that's the universe put a little whip on you and said, nope, don't do that. Because when you move back yeah.
I was so uplifted just because I know the first day I was pissed off, because the judge sentenced me to like 99 days for child support, and I was pissed. But once I sat down and thought about what I was doing and the risk I was taking and, all the things that was coming to fruition that I was being dismissive of, it just became a flip-flop. I was so, I was happy that I was in there, when I'm out here, all I'm doing is reading the dictionary and the law dictionary, and I always throw the Bible and the Quran aside, so I was in there. I had a chance to read that. Really read it and study at the same time, wake up a lot of people, at the same time realize how far we've come in terms of 5 years ago. Nobody heard about that. I can't see nobody or meet nobody who know anything about what Moors. Now, every fourth or fifth person in there heard something about it, or even studying or something like that. So it was very, very uplifting. But Sister Anna E. I tried to call you one time, but I'll call you, give you the full details and all that, but I missed talking to you guys. I had to call in, get my weekly lesson.
Welcome home, bro.
All right.
So, peace and love, peace and love. Also, I don't know, I haven't heard anything mentioned earlier when you was talking about, where we come from and stuff like that. I was doing some research on black hole in Sagittarius A constellation. And, if y'all can, do some research on that, because the attributes they give it. Yeah, it's a black hole.
Yeah, but did you come from the black hole or did you come from your mother? Which is also...
Well, I came from my mother.
Huh?
But I came from my mother, of course. But that black hole, it carries all the attributes of what we call the supreme being. They, recently discovered everything submits to it and is made of melanin. So, inherently, I think we all descend from the first person that descended from that.
Right. Well, this is very interesting because in the placenta is the universe, and it carries all of that. That melanin. Did you see the movie Lucy?
No, I didn't. I need to catch that.
All right.
Now, I think it's correlative.
The exploiting that they did was of a substance that is the what's it called now? Oh man, I can't think of it now. That comes from the woman.
Wait. Lucy was when the bag spilled in her, right?
Yeah, but that substance comes from the woman when she's pregnant.
You know what? I did see that.
She slowly administers that in a
placenta.
No, it's not the placenta. It's on the top of my head. My gosh, it's
But it's a substance created when the woman is pregnant.
Yeah, it's the substance that women have that when they're building the temple, because you manifest it here, not as a vessel, not as a ship, not as anything but a temple, because you're the soul. The body is the soul of man's temple. So with all of that black hole energy of the universe that you're speaking about, etc., like that, it is contained within the universe, that the placenta when you're in your mother's womb, all of that. And the substance, which is on the tip of my tongue, and I can't believe I can't think of it, but I will, that is administered during such time when a woman is building the temple, is so strong that these jerks, went and tried to give it make it into a drug by enhancing the amounts of it, like a small teeny amount is all that is needed when building the body, right? The temple. So they use that. But I'm saying to you that all the stuff that's in the universe is in that placenta. When you're hanging on the fruit of the tree of life, you're the fruit on. And if you look at how it's done, you're hanging in your mother's womb, right? As that tree is being built, so to speak. And so all of that in the cosmos, because see, the law is the length and the angle of the width, which is the mathematics, right? And so each child that is born, the law has just been laid down from these energies you speak of the universe. They're all mixed in there. So I say that to say that all of that concentrated energy from the universe is absolutely in the mother's womb when she's building that temple, so that the spirit, which has no body, right, which is everlasting, or the soul, let's say, the soul of man has a temple, which is the body, because we're manifested from all of that energy through the womb, manifested into the flesh. So as you stand, you are the universe. You know what I'm saying? With all of those energies. With all of those energies. So the black,
I agree. She is the creator of all things.
One that came from the black hole. No, you came from your mother's womb, who has all the concentrations of the universe within her womb, in that placenta that's feeding you. As you hang on that.
She created all things. She created the black hole too. But I do know that it's out there. But I just think it's very correlative.
But you know that. Say that again. I apologize. I didn't hear.
I said she created all things, so I know she created the black hole. I just think it's interesting.
Very good, because this is one of those lessons in degrees because of the mental slavery, and it's why Prophet Noah Ali said to have a better respect for women is along these studies, because if you read the book of John, and I believe C.M. Bay mentions that too, it tells you in there that, well, we've read it. We have it on the site on the Return of the Matriarch page. So for all to read, it says that when the all had an image of what it was with a womb. And that was the like you said, that was the beginning of the creation of all things would come through that. Because remember, with spirit manifesting into the flesh, and we're all law manifesting into the flesh. Allah, that's what it is. So, yeah.
Even in Genesis, Adam called her Eve because she was the creator of all things. So I agree.
Well, Adam didn't call her Eve. Listen up to this now. If you read in the Bible, you know Genesis 1. That's us, manifested on the 6th day. That is also supported in the 101. Now, hold on a minute. Genesis 2 is talking about Adam and Eve and those descendants. Not talking about you. Because, see, the Adam, since they were created, they admit to you they're hybrids. Adam is really the ATOM, and Eve is the evolution of such Adam. So Adam didn't create Jet. Adam means the rememberer, to remember from whence he came. That's what Adam means. All right, so we have to make sure that we don't get ourselves confused with the Adam and Eve, with being descendants of Adam and Eve, because we're not. We're out of Genesis 1, and Adam and Eve is what we created, and the descendants of that. So don't make that mistake, because Adam didn't do that, other than ATOM. Now, if you know what ATOM, atom, and the evolution of that atom, it's all fine. It's all cool. Islam. All right.
Before I yield the floor, I was wondering, if anybody could speak on the correlation between how Mars and Sagittarius both have the arrow pointing at the 45 degrees, as well as the symbol of woman and the symbol of Venus being the same, as well as how they like switching and playing with our symbols. For example, Volvo with the arrow, when it's really Vova, which is the gate to heaven.
Well, actually, Venus and Mars, Venus representing the feminine energy, and Mars representing the masculine, or the yin and the yang, the up and the down, the left and the right, because they together. It's a polarity. So, really, in our ancient original symbols, it was Venus with the circle and the cross on the bottom, right? That's Venus. And then reverse it, and that was Mars. Now, the reason they tilted it was because depending on how you are writing your glyphs, you might not know what is up and what is down. They just tilted that for that reason. It's not for any other reason, that we can buy into it like that. And Sagittarius arrow is absolutely, it's the 9th sign, and it represents the energies of the animal, because, we copulated. We all copulate. We come from anything. We're mammals, but with the breath, right? So the arrow is representing the struggle of your higher self and your lower self. And the one who aspires, see, aspire and inspire are two different things. Man aspires to always be reaching higher for higher knowledge, which is why Sagittarius is represents your advanced education, your advanced spiritual knowledge, your advanced, or what they'll call religious knowledge, right? Your spiritual knowledge, and it's 180 degrees from your basic primary knowledge in Gemini and communications, etc. So Sagittarius represents, it's got a half animal, right? And then man on the top and animal on the bottom, because we're dealing with our higher and lower self. So it's the epitome, it represents the epitome of us aspiring to our higher self. That's really what it is. You know, a lot of people will put a lot of other stuff in it or whatever like that, but that's it. Always reaching for the higher. That's why you have people in Sagittarius, they always are seeking knowledge. That's their general characteristic.
Yeah, because I was born on the cusp of Sagittarius, and everybody that I meet that their birthday is on the cusp of any sign, they're always seeing their birthday like on the clock or on the time or on a countdown or something like that. I ran across 3 people in jail whose birthday were on the cusp, and when I mentioned it, one of them dropped their head, the other one, a tear dropped out his eye, because he was like, no matter what I'm doing, I'll look at the clock and there's my birthday. And I was wondering, I want to go ahead and get the floor. Huh? Like just any kind of count where there's 4 numbers. Like I can be looking at a football game, and for some reason my eyes are look at the time, or the time left in a quarter or whatever, and it's 11:22, which is my birthday. Or I'll be walking down the street and look at a digital clock and it say 11:22.
Oh, okay. A reminder to check yourself and be with yourself, and especially if it's 11:22. 22 is a strong number, which is a 4, meaning you're on your square. So stay on your square, brother, and know that means that there will be. Listen, standing on your square means there will be challenges, and you'll have to remain strong and on your square to combat with them. So it's not that they're there, it's how you deal with them that matters. And I think that's what you coming in here on the show, is that, you realize you was possibly going in another direction, and the universe was trying to say, nope, that ain't the way it goes. So man's business is about reflection, and when you can honestly reflect and say, you know what, all of this happened because of something I did or didn't do, you are a stronger person than most, because that's what the business is all about. So we wish you well in your continued sojourn. Islam.
Peace and love. Thank you very much.
All right.
You're welcome, brother. I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right. I got to make a comment. Everybody in the chat room, and also I think Jesse sent it. It said that the thing in Lucy was called CPH4. Yes, that is the scientific thing they gave to it. And I'm really kicking myself because, I want to say I can't believe that I can't remember. It is a common factor that women produce. I wish I could put this daggone thing on. It's not called CPH4. CPH4 is the scientific name they gave to it when they enhanced it to use it for a drug. It is what comes from the woman. You know what it is? It's on the tip of my tongue. I don't want to say colostrum, because colostrum is what comes out of the breast that gives the immunities to all babies before the clear liquid, before the milk comes. But it's man, I'll think of it. But just to make a correction for everyone who's given the CPH4, yes, that's what they called it in the movie. But that's not what it actually is in nature. It's something else that we carry within us that we give out. All right? Just want to make that correction. I'm going to find it.
All righty.
I got to put the movie on while we're sitting up more. All right.
Awesome. All right, our next caller, 972-839. You're live on the air.
This is Abdul Sabir Malik Shakur Bey, Northwest American, there's the Texas Territory. First of all, I'd like to say Islam, the Rock Marah, Nadi, and Miss Ram. I don't hear Cujo's voice tonight, but all praise and blessing be to him. I received my order in the North Gate over here in the Texas Territory, and I thank you for it, and it is so fascinating. The writing is so brilliantly instructive and educational and straight to the point by law. and the most one is very fascinating. The research edition, Truth About the Birthright. And as y'all are speaking, and all praises to the brother just got off. Welcome home, brother. And the young lady last week, the mobile, she was very overwhelming. I really enjoyed it. And as y'all introduction, sometimes y'all play it, and the young artist, mobile artist, I believe her name is Misery, the Miseducation of the Negro. And our people are waking up. The word that Noble Drew Ali put out, his teaching has spread it, and we are in the age of Aquarius, and our people are waking up. But yet there's still some lacking the knowledge of the name and nationality of birthright, of the true world history, of national governmental principles, of constitutional principles, and of constitutional limitations of government, etc., has caused many of the unsuspecting among us to make statements such as the system is messed up and needs to be changed up. They will fix it, and those documents don't matter since these are modern times. You know, to say on and say forth as we go on as ignorant Moors and don't know our nationality. Yet those documents are the foundation for law, authority, jurisdiction, and actions in government, pro and con. So when you and you guys at RV-based publications, Moors and Mobile, speak and let the people know, although when you're learning and you're studying this here, and when these European corporation comes against you, stand on your 45-degree angle, not necessarily with your feet pointing due south and due north, going to the east, but in your inner self, understand that before there's a tree, the seed must be planted. And once the seed is reminiscent of the woman, she gives forth, spreads her root, then so far down, touches water. Water is the spring and the key of life. And then she come forth that those of her children, which is nature, may rest, and mother, sun will shine upon her and bring light and glory to all Allah. Give praises to the woman, to the mobile. But without her, would nothing be done. Without her, life wouldn't be here. I give thanks on the cover of the 101. I always look at it and I reminisce and give praise that Noble Drew Ali carried the woman in her arm because she's more precious than any stone that men may dig out of the earth or go search deep in the hills and the cave side. For she is the spring and the foundation of life. Islam.
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 So we're working on getting what that justice is for everybody. But anyway, moving right ahead. That was great. That was great. That's why, we're saying we always seeking outside of ourselves for answers that are already within us. So back to the beginning of, who made you? Or where did you come from? And we do know that we came from the woman. Now we need to, the first schoolroom really is what it is. And like I said, that is the universe while you're in there, and literally the universe, all of the substance that the brother's talking about, and the matter, and the black matter, the black hole of the universe, all that is right in there as this soul of man temple is being formed. And that's some amazing stuff right there. That's why they try to, like a lot of people, they don't, into this day, they take that placenta. They don't let them take that placenta. they'll take it themselves, and there's all types of things you can do with it for your child because it's a print of that particular temple that was formed, But I think there's books on there. I think Brother Hakeem Day from Atlantis.com or the Journal of the Moorish Paradigm, he did something on that as well. And, that's the real deal. Islam.
Sure. I know we know a couple people who've done that too.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. They left the hospital with the placenta, like, give me that too. Everything.
Yeah. They even taken, I hear that they make they were making like lipsticks, like all the sisters was wearing lipstick, they was making it out of placentas and stuff. Putting all, crazy. And somebody else's hair.
And scarab beetles. Oh, yeah. Well, what they was doing with it. Right.
Yeah.
You said that. I just recall when we was in our travel one time, it was a TV show somewhere that doesn't air out here, but it was a sister going in, and she was talking about where all the cosmetics and everything like that came from.
Yeah.
And she was going in on that, basically Moors was doing that for the longest time from like scarab, Moorish women, shall I say, were utilizing that since back in quote-unquote the time of the, now we know all the pyramids on this side are the oldest, but even at those times where they were building those great pyramids of so-called Egypt anyway, you know what I mean, that they were using scarab beetles for makeup, eyeliner, and things like that. And I was like, oh, wow, I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? So when you mentioned that, just to see how it went from nature to them, savage beast in the placenta for cosmetics, that's just crazy.
Yeah. Truly the exploitation of women, and again, that movie Lucy really, it tells you a lot of things, but it's really telling you that as well, man. And they're going to take the substance of nature that only she has and say, let's see how we can make a drug out of this. And the drug was so powerful because it's about mind, because man is mind. It was so powerful, you got to watch the movie yourself, that certain amounts that they would give people, they would literally, in front of your face, lose their ever-loving mind. You know what I mean? Because that's not how it was to be used. It's actually so strong that it is incrementally, a small piece of it is what is needed, that the woman has to build the body while in the womb. So imagine what that is, so, yeah.
All right. We're going to take our next caller. Caller 314802. You're live on the air. Please state your appellation at Northwest Maxim.
Islam. This is Alicia L., Northwest Maxim. How is everyone doing?
Well, sis, thank you for asking. How about yourself?
Just wonderful. We spoke last week. We were cut off at the end. I don't think you guys could hear me, but I was still on the line. And I've been listening every day since then. And I wanted to just say to each and every one of you that I really appreciate your work and the effort that you put in. And I can only imagine the time and the sweat that you guys have had to put in to get the understanding that you have. So I want to thank you because you make it so much easier for us who are studying ourselves and trying to understand the foundation, the principle and concepts, and just be able to stick to that. And I absolutely love when Ms. Raheem gets that international law in. Each time it just opens up to other things in your mind, to help remedy all of these things that's going on, and it's basically, if we just understand that it's all fake and not have any fear and move forward in that knowing, in the truth. And I remember him saying, if you think about it, law is common sense. You know when you've been violated. So you need to just know when to, move forward in that knowing. So I wanted to thank you all for that. I was just listening, and the other brother started talking about the zodiacs, and I was reading The Tree of Life. I think his name was George W. Carey, and some other things about astrology written in the 1800s. Me and my 17-year-old had to look up a few words, and it was helping me understand that a little better. And the last time we spoke, that was one of the things that I wanted to ask about that didn't get into, because now we have certain apps that allow you to so-called see the different constellations and things in the sky. So it allows you to go back to your born day, and looking at the year I was born, and even this last one that passed, it doesn't show that the sun is actually in Sagittarius. It shows that it's more in Scorpio, or to be exact, right on the foot of the constellation Ophiuchus. And so with me being being told that I'm a Sagittarius all my life, being born December 3rd, excuse me, and then seeing that, and then researching Scorpio, and I'm like, okay, and then I have a Leo moon and a Leo moon and Virgo rising, and I'm trying to put all that together. So I did want to ask last time for a natal chart and a reading of sorts in that nature to help me understand that as well. Because I think that's the first key to knowing thyself.
Yes. In fact, your sun, your moon, and your rising is the true Trinity. They'll talk about the Trinity of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, etc., like that. But it's really, that is your navigation point through life, is your sun, your moon, and your rising. Because, like you said, you thought you were Sagittarius. Now, there's different degrees of movement. There's clocks on one clock, and coming out of Scorpio going into Sagittarius is like the first 10 degrees. You're a 10 decade, a 10 degree, first 10 degree Sag, or second 10 degree Sag, or third.
It's a six degree.
Say that again.
6 degrees.
All right. So right. So now, like with that being Scorpio, which is water, right?
Mhm.
Or you thought it might have been Sag, which was fire. But just quickly here, you are really the Leo. See,
right?
You're not really the Scorpion nor the Sagittarius.
Right.
And a lot of people will find other ways to find that out and talk about, well, it's really this is way that you are really the Leo, which is fire. Now, if you got water on your character, you actually put out your own fire, and oftentimes feel like your fire that you have within does not burn like you want it to. Okay.
Correct.
Right. That's because that water of Scorpio is being put on that fire. That's why. It's just common sense, logic, and stuff like that. So now your rising being Virgo, which is earth, but it's the mutable earth, which is sand, and then the characteristic, because earth puts out fire better than water, but still that's weighing on your water. But the characteristics of the Virgo is for you to analyze everything. You take in everything and sometimes not make a decision because you're still analyzing.
Right.
All right.
Right.
So now, there you go. So you put all those three together and those elements together, and you figure out how they really work. But now the Scorpion portion of you, which is the characteristics, all right, appreciates the Virgo, because Scorpio and Virgo appreciate each other. Scorpio is the fixed water, and Virgo is the mutating or changing earth, because if a scorpion's nature is to fix things, resurrect things, you know, and if that's what you're going to be doing, you need to have all the possibilities of doing so. So I'm just giving the characteristics as it is in the human trait. So you would need to know all possibilities in order to resurrect them, to fix them. And everybody thinks is a lost cause. So the Virgo in you, your rising, the way in which you present yourself is in satisfaction with your character, because you need that type of energy to figure out how to resurrect. You know, so now these are positive sides, and then there's, of course, negative sides to it all. You can overanalyze, never make the decision. And then Scorpions, in their effort to fix things, sometimes they get into, you know, wanting to get back at people. And, you know, vengeance is mine, says the Lord, is like for them, you know, because you get yourself in the middle of, you know, like, especially in these days and times, everything is quickened. If someone, you know, does wrong, they're going to get their just desert, retribution, because retribution is to get your tributes for what you have contributed. You got to first contribute something in order to get a retribution back from it. So depending on what you contribute, good or bad, that will be redistributed or retributed to you. So if the Scorpion is always, or anyone, being a Scorpion or otherwise, is always trying to get someone back with the vengeance, you know, whether they did something to you or to someone else, that's their nature, then they'll find themselves in the way when retribution, justice that comes quickly today comes to the person for what they did wrong. You find yourself sitting there too, and you get that. Now you just keep this cycle going on when you need to get out the way and let everyone have their own universal and divine justice going down.
Okay. Well, I've moved past that part. I think the part of the Scorpion who goes in the hole and just stays in and never comes out, I think I'm in that part. And then, you know, with the Sagittarius and the Leo, I remember telling you last time that I study a lot of different things, but it always brings me back to the law, the government, the civics, and behind that, and everything else that you study is the Moors. So it always brings me back here, and I said that I feel in my soul this is what I'm supposed to be doing, dedicating myself to and helping to resurrect in that fashion. Let me say this to you.
If you find yourself staying in the hole kind of sort of and not coming out, no, that's the characteristic of the Scorpion, which is why a Scorpion in nature, stagnated waters, quiet water, sticks. And very, very, very sensitive to any small ripple. So, and any water sign is controlling also. So controlling thy environment, knowing how you want it to be, and being very sensitive to anything that affects it. That's a Scorpion even in its natural state of water. So, you know, you'll rise to it. But just watch what I said about that fire. Now, if you have any of that fire that you think is Sagittarius, you really got to be careful because you got double fire. But, you know, we can go through this at another time. I trust I assisted you with something about, you know, that answer some of your questions, and we really appreciate your call. And I think we're supposed to be taking your phone number down also and getting back to you.
Yes, I appreciate
that. All right. Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Well, hold on now, because I don't have the number. I don't know where they at. Yeah.
Okay.
Righty. I don't need you to say it. I'm just jotting it down.
Tell her to email it to you.
Got it. All right. Thank you so much for your call.
And thank you all. Blessings.
Thank you. Peace. Word.
All right. Caller 610868. You're live on the air. Please state your appellation at Northwestern Accent.
Peace and love, family. This is Janet L. from Northwest Maxim near Philadelphia territory. And I was calling to see if I have the right answer for Roz. Was the amniotic fluid what you were thinking of for the movie?
Yeah, it does come through the amniotic fluid, but I didn't know it was called amniotic fluid, but that's close enough because the amniotic fluid is definitely only in the womb, the waters of the womb. So, yeah. I thought it was called something else, but yes, it would be definitely in the waters. See, because everything is in the waters. That's why, when we tell people to try to connect all the dots, and we say, look, we're more than they're arguing about, well, did the European or the white man make up that name? They don't get it. Moor is the first navigator. It also represents, mooring on water, not just because we're the first to do it, but we are coming from the womb. That is the first waters that you navigate upon. So, those waters are also the baptizing waters of knowledge. If women would get the knowledge, they automatically are teaching and passing the knowledge on to the children. That's the important part of those waters that we navigate upon initially.
Unmuted. All right, sister. You got a lot of feedback. I'm not sure why that is.
Okay, is that better?
Much better.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
Yeah, I wanted to make another comment. I watched the movie the first time last night, Amistad, and in the closing argument at the end of that movie, the court case where the African, I can't remember his name, but the lead character was talking to the president, and he said, the president asked him, what are you going to do? What's going to get you through this? And he says, I'm going back to my ancestors because my ancestors know what I'm going through, and they're going to carry me through. And at the end of the movie, after the president had done his dissertation, they won the case, and the African asked him, what did you say? He said, I said what you told me. And as he was going through, he went through all of the presidents, and he said, we are who they were. And that just struck me with going back to our foremothers and forefathers. We are who they were. And it meant so much to me. But that was all of my comments. Peace and love, and continue to do the work. Thank you.
Islam, I just got to say, I love what she said, which brings us back to why we all we're all one family. And she said, we are who they are. That's why we need to continue this work for posterity. That is what it is, because we're the ancestors. We turned their period. Islam. All right.
And I just wanted to say thanks, because I just got a lesson that I realized I need to study a little bit more. Since stepped it up, the amniotic fluid, excuse me. But I just wanted to also add on, since this was like the second, third time movies came up, I just wanted to make a suggestion for the family. It's a movie called A Passage to India, 1984. It's called A Passage to India. You have to watch it. You have to watch it. It's mandatory, no different than the metaphysic heads who study the Matrix. You have to watch it. A Passage India. And keep in mind this quote unquote lady, her appellation is Miss Moor, playing the part. A European though, but you got to see how they interact with the natives in the English. I just wanted to add that on. Islam.
All right. Islam.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Sure.
Our next caller 215-868. You're live on the air. Please state your appellation at Northwest Maxim.
Islam. This is Nova Annette Bell calling from Northwest Maxim, near the Philadelphia territory. Much love and respect to the Prophet over to Ali for all that he's brought to us and where I'm sitting today learning all this information. I also wanted to add, Sister Roz, you were speaking about what the woman has, and the sister did mention amniotic fluid, but I was thinking it was the mucosa, that mucous membrane. And
say that again?
Mucosa.
Well, see, the woman actually has a lot of things in those amniotic fluids that run through. That's not the name that was in my mind, though. You know what I mean? It's just like off my tongue, and I can't think of it. But thanks for putting that out there, too. If you want to spell that, people can look that up. Even he just said he's going to look up amniotic fluid. And remember how they would take the amniotic fluid, and that's one thing sisters should not allow. That's very invasive. Where they would pull out. It's very dangerous, too, because it's disruption. And they would pull out the amniotic fluid to find out what the child is made of and whether it has Down syndrome and all kinds of other stuff that you don't know what they're doing. That should never be allowed in that sacred area, because they would pull it out from. And in fact, everybody has amniotic fluid still in their spine. That's what's in their spine, even as they grow. It's the amniotic fluid. And any messing around with that can screw you up. So say that again.
Yeah, the mucosa, the mucous membrane. Where in the mucous membrane, it functions to protect, support nutritional absorption and secretion of mucus and enzymes in the salt. And that consists of deep vascular connective tissues. All this is found in that mucous membrane because, before the baby comes, they say, well, she lost the mucus plug, and that's the mucosa.
All right, like that plug, right?
Yeah, just want to share that, yeah.
Well, thank you for that.
And I'll see you Saturday.
Yes, wait a minute. Who is this I'm speaking with?
Inez L.
Oh my yes. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm a newcomer, and I'm learning so much, and I'm so full.
All right.
I appreciate you all.
All right, peace and love.
Peace and love. Islam.
All righty. All right. Our next caller 412-969. You're live on the air. Please state your appellation at Northwest Maxim.
This is Energy L calling from Northwest Maxim. Good evening, family. I was just calling in to say thank you for the show. I appreciate being able to get online and hear shared information and experiences and what have you. Speaking on that, what's it called, the placenta with this last one that y'all just heard coughing, that is one of the things that definitely left the room as soon as they took him from my body. And I wouldn't allow them to take any type of DNA from him, still to this day. Again, while we were there, I would not allow his nomen to be given because the way I've seen it is because the natal chart is so important. And if you give them that name, their nomen, their appellation, and that's just the final part of the puzzle for them to be able to kind of, play games with them throughout the rest of their walk here. And I was doing my very best to protecting from, that madness because, again, they got my oldest in their clutches for the now, but that's due to the lack of his choosing not to study and what have you, So I've come to acceptance on that one. Hopefully, as he sits there, it's the universe's way of getting him to really see, from his own life's experience, the importance of, his nationality and reclaiming his birthrights as I attempted to give back to him, as I gained the knowledge and everything. So, but yeah, as far as that placenta go, yeah, they attempted to make fuss about they could not, and that wasn't happening. My mom was like, nope, you can put it in that bag right there, and she immediately left the premises and brought it to the house. My girlfriend stood over seeing the entire process because they did the whole C-section thing, blah, blah, blah. She was there. She stood up. She was looking over the blanket, seeing what was going on, because I don't trust them. I don't know if you're trying to chip me, chip him, whatever the case, all types of things that they're into. They talking about putting drops in, all that. Nope, we're not doing that. And then all about that sticking in your belly button to find out if they got Down syndrome because I'm over 40. Yep, nope, we're not doing that. Oh, how about drink this so we can find out if you're that? Nope, we're not doing that either. Oh, how about take these pills for it? Nope, I'm not doing that. It's a matter of I'm just grateful that I'm just paranoid and I don't trust them. It's just that simple. But that was the funniest thing. They insisted on attempting to get his nomin from me the entire 4 days we were there. Every day they came in and asked that same question. You get a name for him yet? Nope.
Well, that's how it was. We never really named that child like that.
Exactly.
We waited for the child to, unless we knew ahead of time for whatever other reasons that you can if you really are family planning. But, we give that up, so.
Yeah, that's something I had. I mean, he had revealed himself one day while I was journaling as far as what his appellation would be. And it was, as all of them have been, when his came through and my hand just written it out in the journal itself. So I had kept it to myself up until the day I revealed it to, those closest to us, But even to this day, there's many who don't know his nomin. They know the nickname, Cocoa Bean, stuff like that. But as far as how his nomin goes, I'm very particular about, giving that kind of information out. The more I grow in knowledge, the more I comprehend what's necessary to reveal in this public arena versus, that which needs to be kept private,
Right.
And what Mayfair being where he's at, it just bugs me out. It really bugs me out that, my Nayfair is where he's at because the way I've seen it, his entire walk, they've been attempting and trying to get their clutches on him. And now he sits there and it's like, for some reason I do feel I let him down in some way, shape, or form, but I think that's just the human side of me, the emotional side of me. But I do know that I have done all that I could as mother to give him the information as it came to me, as quick as it came to me, and he just chose to reject it, so he has to learn this lesson. I'm guessing, But as far as the other three, nope. Okay, well, I might have to get off the line because this one right here.
All right.
But I appreciate you giving me this little bit of time. Ms., got the number down?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I need to get in contact with you. You got to pardon me. I was down the past couple of days. So definitely out to you.
All right. Yeah, be expecting your phone call. Islam.
All right. Islam. All right. Hold on a minute. All right, next caller 502-294. You're live on the air. Please state your appellation at Northwestern Exum.
Islam. This is Brother Tahudi LML Babe coming from Northwest Mexon. How are y'all doing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well.
Good. I just wanted to thank y'all so much. Just as being a new Moor, coming into the movement and the information, y'all just giving a good starting point and just breaking stuff down for a brother and just allow me to speak to other people about it. It's just so enriching. It's kind of like that feeling that's coming at home of just being stressed about something, trying to figure something out, then just coming to that blissful moment, if I can say, just that relaxing feeling.
Mhm.
So.
I hear you.
And I just had a quick question. As coming to the information, as deal with my family-wise, as I enter under and understand the information and how we've been deceived, lied to, and believing lies and thinking it's truth, to whereas it's coming to my family now, as they look at me completely different now. They think I'm crazy. They think I'm joining ISIS and all this other stuff, and and it's just hard trying to explain to them how it's that's just how things have been. And my mom was like, "You're not a Moor, you're African American." I was like, "No, Mom, I'm not African American. That's 2 continents. That doesn't make any sense at all." And I figured what would be a good way to kind of just try to explain to family on just of not going over their heads to where it hits them at the heart with the information I'm trying to bring to them.
If you can't convince them they're not Negro, colored, and black, keep it moving. but anyway, guys, what you gonna suggest?
Nah, I mean, you just summed that conversation straight up. Like, that was it. Like, nah, really though. But it's not funny. But it's just speaking from experience. Like, that's the truth. I mean, it's just basic things where sometimes you have to show people. Like, you can't. Like, the best way to go about it is let them see it for themselves. Like, just get a impartial, like, let's say they think they black, right? You just got a collegiate dictionary. You don't even have to go here. I'm just saying, to give them facts they can go with. Just look up the definition of black or Moor, show them how black is the adjective, Moor is the noun. That's in just a regular high school dictionary. They say collegiate, but you could get one of these in high school, for real, and show that, the proper appellation is Moor. If they don't accept that, then, could try again. But like it was said, if you can't convince them that they're not Negro, black, or color, it's basically no need to go on with your energy.
True.
No.
And I just had one more last thing. I heard the sisters talking about the astrology, and I've been looking at that too. And I just kind of recently looked at my chart, and for my sun sign, I was born as a Virgo. My moon sign was a Leo, and my ascendant rising sign was a Taurus. And I also looked up the whole other thing. How would I kind of figure out which way to go with all the type of energies?
You sound like the other. You said your moon is a what?
Moon is Leo.
Fire. Okay. And what?
Yeah, the sun was Virgo, the moon was Leo, and the ascendant was Taurus.
Okay. Wow, you got 3 fixed signs. You're very, people can't get you to change hardly at all, right? You stick to your guns. Oh, well, I'm sorry. You said Virgo.
Yeah, I do. Virgo,
yeah, well, the reason you do, and I just say that brief because we can move on. But the reason you do is that your moon, you're really a Leo, unless a fire, but it's fixed. And then Taurus is fixed, all right, and that's Earth, fixed Earth. So that rising, so not unlike the other, when you got that fire, your soul is really a Leo, but you got on your rising, you have Earth, you have the strongest Earth, the fixed Earth, which is the Taurus. And as I said before, Earth puts out fire better than water, actually, smothers it. So you, again, in the way in which you present yourself, because it's rising, is what puts out your fire. So that's, I would think that other people may see that more than you do, because it's the way you present yourself with that Earth. You don't really let that fire that's within you burn, because that Earth is putting it out. And then if you got that Virgo again, that's the same thing, overanalyzing before you make a decision, and sometimes you take too long. Or you're mutable in that you will change. You could change your mind and your character, but you're also very fixed because you've got a fixed Leo and a fixed Taurus, and you said Virgo, right? Yeah, okay. Virgo is mutable.
Yeah.
So your character, you can change yourself, but the way you present yourself is very fixed. Non-changeable, you know. Tauruses don't really like things. You like the fixed signs just are simply the center of the that season, the perfection of that season. So they don't understand why things need to change. It's perfect like it is. So that's what you'll find in your Trinity. But then you got to look at the rest of your chart and see how some of that plays out.
Yeah, it was a lot of Leos. I think there's a Capricorn in the midheaven, but it was more Leos in my chart than anything.
Then that means that you're a born leader. Children like you. You have a generally sunny disposition. And on the negative side of that, if you want to call it negative, you know, you have to watch out for becoming a dictator to others. That's the negative side of that. And people are attracted to you magnetically, whether you can come into a place or a room or whatever, and you're automatically noticed whether you want to be or not.
That is true.
I know it's true. Because that's the science of it all. Leo is the purpose of the home of the sun, the fixed in its fixed nature. You know, it's that is ruled by the sun, and that's what we live in, and we are domiciling, if you will, under the energies of this particular solar system. So that's why that happens. So when you understand why that happens, you know, you don't have to get your head blown up. You just have to understand you have this magnetism. Now it's the question of what you're going to do with it. Good, you know, higher self or lower self activity with it. You know, that's it.
True.
All right.
Islam, thank you, brother and sisters. I look forward to working y'all very soon. Islam, and keep putting in the work.
All right.
Ready.
Mm-hmm. Peace, bro.
All right. And it is 11:36, and unless we have any more callers, we got one last caller left, and it is Sister Jayana.
Yes, you did.
Peace and love, everyone. I was sitting and I was listening to the class, and this particular broad class has really, it started off with where were you born? You were talking about where were you born, and then it went to, you know, woman, and I mean, it just went all over, like, for real. So it was like a beautiful class, but it made me, or it came to my mind about something I talked to Sister Roz about. Roz, I know you remember I told you I wanted to put something together for my sister who is pregnant, and I wanted to put something together for her so that she would be enlightened and teaching the baby in the womb. And I just feel like, and I just truly feel like this is like really on topic and goes about everything that was talked about today. And so I wanted to, I put this together for her. This is something I put together for young mothers who are with child, or maybe come with child, or, you know, already had children, but just really didn't have the fundamentals and the basics before or prior to having the children. So this is like a beginner's course for young mothers to really know thyself. And so that's what this is for. This is like that. So I just want to ask if I could just if I can just read a little bit of what I put in there to the family.
All right.
So I'm not going to read the whole thing because this is also this first article is basically my own writing, and it's just a compile of things that from my studies, and I just put experts in there with, of course, the references. And then the rest of the booklet is just many things, many things from RV Bay, from all the calls of just helping women to know herself and to teach her children also. So that's that. All right, so that's the background. So this is a little excerpt of what I wrote. I'm not going to read the whole thing, like I said. So, peace and love to you, sisters. This was specially made or put together for your study by your sister. I trust while you are carrying this child, who will be a duplicate of you, since she will be a womb man. And this is because, of course, it was originally made for my sister, but I think I'm just going to give it out to more sisters. And she's having a daughter, so duplicate of you, since she will be a womb man as well. You will feed this young child with knowledge of her true and divine self while teaching yourself as well, so that you will be well equipped to rear all your children using the 5 principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. You must govern your actions by love, because the prophet Noble Drew Ali said, we must learn to love instead of hate. You must know the truth in order to find peace within yourself. And once you find peace, you are free mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Whether or not you govern yourself by these principles, justice is always around the corner. Justice is blindfolded with a sword in one hand and a scale in the other, while stepping on the Lord's stuff, because it has no place in here. And she will cut whoever head off that is not in line. So you have the choice to make. But whatever you choose, remember, justice is always around the corner. So I give to you this illuminating information, so that you may at all times seek to ratify in your higher self. First, let's begin with what is higher self and lower self. Questions from the one-on-one. What is the devil sometimes called? The lower self. How many selves are there? 2. Name them. Higher self and lower self. What is the higher self? The higher self is the virtues and the harmonies of life that breed justice and mercy, love, and right. Can higher self pass away? No. Why? Because it is Allah and man. What does the lower self breed? Hatred, slander, slenderness, murder, theft, and everything that harms. What did the higher self say to the lower self at one time when he met him? Where are you going? What is the answer the lower self gave to higher self? I am going to and fro earth, seeking whom I may devour. Now I read to you from the Holy Quran of Moor Science Temple of America, divinely prepared by Noble Drew Ali. 21. The only devil from which man must be redeemed is self, the lower self. If man would find his devil, he must look within. His name is self. If man would find his savior, he must look within. And when he, demon self, has been thrown, and the savior, love, will be exalted to the throne of power. The David of light is purity, who slays the strong Goliath of the dark and sees the savior, love, upon the throne. That's from chapter 3. Now that you know, this is unquoted, this is just my word. Now that you know the higher self is you and the lower self is you, which means that if there is any devil, it is you. If there is any God, it is you as well, or that they both live within you. You determine which one you would allow to take over your being. From the book, 33 Civic Questions for Moorish Children. Question, what is your nationality? I am a Moor. Why are you a Moor? Because my mother is a Moor and her mother is a Moor. What is the Constitution? The Constitution is the law of the nation, and it is land. What is the name of our Constitution? My Constitution is the great law of peace. Where did the Constitution come from? My Constitution is molded after universal law, which rules all creation. It is all law, and our common mother teaches it to us. Does your common mother teach this law to you? She teaches me. How does your common mother teach this law to you? She teaches me through nature. If I study nature, I would learn the great law of peace. What is nature? Common sense. What is the name of the common mother of the Moors? The first mother of the Moors is Zodiacus. How many daughters does Zodiacus have? 12. The prophet said we must have a greater respect for womanhood. Ask yourself why he made this statement. I trust after you read everything in this booklet, you will without a doubt know why this statement was made. This is a quote. Now, in this time, when it is time to come back to nature, to our own roots, back to our own Mother Earth. This is a time to know yourself and the power that from your ancestors. You are part of the divine plan. The natural enemy is your own. May we be all blessed to stand as strong as the oak and the sun and the moon. That's a quote from RV Bay, found on the back of the book called The Oracle. And that's all I'm going to read from that. But I just want to say that it's one other part, and I'm skipping to it. I put in there also is I looked at the definition of father, because, you know, I did. And I also heard that, I always heard that, you know, father is something that it has something to do with, you know, having a baby. So I just wanted to look it up for myself, and I finally found the definition of 1800 Webster Unabridged Dictionary. And, of course, you know, it's Latin for pater or pater. But what I found is father is contraction.
Mm-hmm.
So by contraction. So again, I gave the definition of contraction. I mean, which we all know, right? And so then after that, right. So
process of creation. That's what we tell people.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And so I definitely put that in there. And
but you know what they gave that as, you know, meaning the male specimen necessarily. It does not. Go ahead.
Yeah. And so, and in the so that was just an expert of what I wrote. But also in there I put some experts from the Zodiac Bureau, Volume 2. I put in this book I have Know Yourself from C.M. Bay and the Conceptions, and it teaches about the rays of the sun. And, you know, because, of course, this is a book that I put together for mothers, so that's that.
Yeah. And you know, I think that if you empower the sister, your sister or any sister who is pregnant with this information and how important it is of what they're actually doing and bringing into there, I think it would bring anyone out of any ill thoughts or depression or anything like that because of the importance of it. So I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, and I also put in some experts from, I couldn't put the whole of nothing because I want them to go out and get it for themselves, but I definitely put some parts from She Redeems. I put the poem in there, Will the Children Rule the World?
That's for the book of knowledge.
Yeah. And yes. I put in there, it was something written on R.V. Bay. It doesn't have really a title, but it was just talking about no nation can rise higher than its woman and reclaiming the divine feminine rights of civilization. I put in there mother and son, intake, outtake, openings of physical bodies. I put in there a writing by David or Dawood, Woman Know Herself, where he talks about the neutrons, the protons, and electrons, asexual, female, male, because this is all the things that we should know. If we're going to be carrying a baby, and just to help us following humanity. I put in there I am the universal womb of man. I put in there an article I wrote, unpublished, but, you know, some just my own writing. From the crown to the pedestal, I stand is something from R.B. Bay, of course, again.
Oh, yeah.
I love this picture with a woman. She's, like, stretched in a circle, and it has all of the zodiac. The signs around, and it tells about each sign. Where is it at? Breast, nurturing, Leo, heart, core, Virgo, Virgo, stomach. Another writing I put in there called The Light. I put in there the grand architect of the universe, of Solomon's temple, soul of man, temple of the body. The architect, art. The covenant is the art created by the womb. The covenant is the agreement breaking our souls. I put a lot of stuff in there. I just compiled, and also put in there, earlier you guys were talking about the Book of John. I put in there the Book of John, and I put in a class that you guys had. It was called Fallen Humanity, What and Who is Fallen Humanity, and you guys were talking about the Book of John and Sophia and everything about, just really laid that out. So I put that class in there. That was a beautiful class.
That's a good one, Sophia.
Yeah, I put in there the applied science of the number 9, cosmology, biology, economy, with the answers. It was like you guys question, answer, name. What is the germ? What is the daughter cell? All of that.
Oh yeah, you got all that. Yeah.
Experts from the book. What is it? The book from The Truth About Your Hair. So just the experts. I ain't put the whole nothing. So I gotta go get there. But I just put experts from a little bit about everything. So that's just some things that I could just compile and put together, and I just wanted to share it with the family because the class, it just seemed today it was just on point to share it. So, you know, and also I put in there the living temple because everybody was calling in about the zodiac, the living temple, and it has a woman with the body, and she got, you know, where Aries for head, Taurus, or all of that, and the seesaw, and explains that, and so I just want. Oh yeah, you know, I had to put in there the holy instructions for the children. Roz, you put together how it correlates with the sign. So
yes. Wow. Oh, that's good. That's great. I'm glad all that information has inspired you.
Yeah. So I trust that she will really be uplifted with information. Really.
Right. I trust you too.
I mean, and any mother, you know, like I said, it's some stuff in there, but I was my sister, she's like, you should give that to other things. I might, but I might have to take some personal things out because remember, I wrote this letter in here. It's called a letter to my sister from her. So, you know, but you know, it would be something. It's nothing. It's just something I can pass to other people who just.
It's more than that. It's inspiration. And that is needed. I see where you're going with it, you know. Yeah, we should talk about that you can actually make available to women who are, in fact, having child. That would be great. That would be great.
So everything, that's all. It was a great class, of course, and peace and love, and thank you guys for taking my call.
Thank you.
All righty.
Thank you so much.
All right, I think this is the last caller 415941. You are live on the air. Please state your appellation at Northwest Maxim.
Greetings, family. This is Queen Amala, Embrace Earth, and I am calling from the New Jersey area, northwest of Maxim, and I love you, Roz, and Miss Raheem, and Annie Eve, and thank you for allowing me to come on because I was trying to get on the last week's call, but I wasn't able to. And I do want to say I appreciate the sister who was just building. She made some really great points on woman, and when you talk about the subject matter, which is where are you from, and talking about the beginning and the creation. And what I wanted to add on briefly, and I know I'm catching the end of everything that was made manifested today. I am a mother of 5, all natural births, and I am a Moor, and I'm also a doula. So I work with a certified doula. So I work with women in terms of giving birth and preparing them because a lot of women are unprepared. And I say that respectfully to say that what we have been programmed to think in terms of giving birth and preparing our minds, our mental, our physical, our spiritual, our emotional, being when it comes to giving birth, it's not what it's crapped out to be. And in respect to, just a little bit of the topic on where are you from, it is so important for women, for sisters, for queens to know that your children are a reflection of you. And it's not just about, okay, you have a baby, your mom, you have a baby. It has so much more to do with your mind way before conception, way before you even give thought. It's how you take care of yourself. It's the mental foods that you give yourself. It's so much that entails that. And I just really hope that this broadcast is made available where others can go and listen to it, to know that, as women, we have so much work to do when it comes time to for our children to know where they come from. Because if you are not taking care of yourself eons before giving birth, you know, not to say anything negative, but you just got extra work to do. And so I guess for me, I just want to add on to say that when it comes to knowing where you come from, you know, as a woman, it's just important for us to take care of ourselves, not just be able to state for the record, I am a Moor, Moorish American, or anything like that. But what are you eating? What's your diet like? How's your health? Do you trust and know that you are God, or do you know that you are this supreme force that is capable and able to bring forth, you know, a great being in such a way that how you are and how you carry impacts the creation of that new life, that new soul? Because as a mother of civilization, you are the home, you know, you house everything. So it's just so important for women to really, really, really take heed to what they should be doing. And I say that to say, for example, I don't know if you all are into, but there was a brother, I don't even know his name, but he was on YouTube talking about how back in the day, our ancestors, our great grandmothers used to use apple cider Bragg's vinegar to keep the woman cleansed of all fibroids and disease and different things of that nature. And I see so many women nowadays just taking everything that somebody tells them in terms of what to take, just going over counter, you know, different things, dishes and all kind of crazy stuff to insert inside of them that they don't realize is doing so much harm. And I say in terms of the apple cider Bragg's vinegar because it's so important for the woman and how to take care of yourself and how to nurture your womb, how to prepare your body for when you are ready to give birth. When you want to make that sound decision and say, for example, if you have a woman who has done absolutely no herbal remedies or no type of, you know, health nutrition, just knowing that one component of what Bragg's apple cider vinegar can do, or apple cider vinegar with the mother in it, what it can do to cleanse your womb to bring forth new life. So when we talk about creation, we really talk about so many different things with the woman. And I just wanted to add that component because I'm moved to say so much, but I know it's at the end of the call and I'm just adding on. But just that one component, if any mothers are out there, you know, listening, or if you're thinking about giving birth, or if you're thinking about, you know, having a baby, on a mental note, you have to know and understand and understand who you are, and that whatever anybody has told you prior to now, that you can give birth naturally, that you can give birth without the use of epidurals and pitocins and all of this extra crap that is just really used to as a means of revenue for these big corporations. And so, you know, just knowing that you have to start with the mind, you have to start with inside of you and knowing who you are and what your power is. And I deal with so many women, they say, Amala, I just don't, but this one said this, but I just don't know. And they just remove the fear. False evidence appearing real is what we've been programmed with for years, months, and days on. Nobody knows us better than us. Real talk. We know who we are. We just have to remember. If we can remember and attach and align ourselves to who we are and just seek the light, we will remove this fear, this anxiety, this craziness that is going on with the woman. Because let me tell you something. Seriously, there is a really, really spiritual attack going on. And as long as we are under that illusion of what is being pumped, what we bring forth will also be attached to that manifestation. So we have to cleanse our auric field, and we have to really, when we talk about the young lady and what Roz and everybody on the call has always said, study yourself, Go back to, I love the concept of Sankofa, going back to the origin. Before all of this, there was an origin. There was a foundation long before this stuff that has been pumped. And I'm what you call an old soul, so I constantly, my mind is always saying, what would my grandmother do? What did my great ancestors do? What did they do before all of this made manifest? And so when you talk about where do you come from, as the woman, the mother of civilization, the goddess, the roots, the home, the foundation, it's very important for her, for she to know who she is mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and then to act accordingly. When we say stand on your square or stand squarely, you must know. And when you know, therefore, you're able to attach to all the things that you will need to bring forth not only just a child, but bring forth the right fruit in your life, so that way you can create more greatness. And so I hope I made some sense, but I'm just really so passionate when it comes to women giving birth. I've had 5 children, all natural birth, 3 of them, 2 of them at home, in the water, lotus birth, and I really strongly advocate for us as women to take back our power and our control to knowing what we can do. Like, seriously, it's so important, and not to be afraid. Like, remove it immediately. Just stand strong on who you are as the woman, the womb man. We've been gifted with characteristics and with abilities like no other. And it doesn't mean that we're superior. You know, I don't want our men, and with all due respect, our men are so necessary. I love my brothers, my husband, Raheem, all of the brothers out there that are standing on their square. They are necessary. They are essential to our being. But we as women have to know who we are, because who we are as mothers, so are our children. So we're more, our children are more. So we have to correct our status. And in order to do so, you got to know who you are, and you do have to study. And just being a part of Moorish, MHHS, I'm sorry, I can't even say the whole thing, but
MHHS, Moorish Heritage and History School.
Right. Let me tell you something. I stay locked and loaded and connected as much as I can, because what you all do is like no other. You know, you're raw, and Roz, you are a mother to all of us. You are indeed the mother of civilization. Not only do you give birth, you know, on a mental level, but you give birth on a physical level to be able to hold these classes and these calls. And it's essential for people to tap in and to connect with it, because you're going to always walk away with something greater, a jewel, something that you want to go do the research on, you want to learn more about. So, you know, I just want to say, sisters, you know, if y'all need me, I'm available.
I was going to say, you're back in this area, because you were down more in the southern region, right? But you're back up here now?
Florida. I'm back up here in the area, and let me tell you something. My phone has been ringing. Women want to give birth. They want to have babies at home.
Yes.
I'm looking for like no other but New Jersey. Listen, Roz, this area up here, it's not like down south is very open to just doing things. How can I say, like naturally, like they promote giving birth at home. Up here, it's a cosmetic. You know, it's For those who follow that path. Now, we know us as Moors and how we do things is totally different. But if you're falling under the guise of 14th Amendment, or you don't know yet, these are the things that they don't promote giving birth at home. They promote, you know, breastfeeding and natural, but they don't promote that as much as I would like to see it happen here. And I hope to be a part of that wave that we could start to see.
We need to speak with you on that. Well, first of all, I just wanted to say Bragg's apple cider vinegar is one of Anna E's favorite antidotes for everything.
It's my absolute favorite antidote. I have about 3 bottles in the house right now. Like, it's on reserve. It's amazing. Yeah. No, seriously. And then the other part, not even just for the womb, but honestly, apple cider vinegar and the alkalinity of what it does for you. So, like, you know, right now we're still in the winter, you know, months for some people. You can drink a nice capsule with some alkaline water, and it will just cleanse you. It will start to repair your cells. And no, I'm not a medical doctor, but I speak by way of experience, and I listen to divine spirit, prime source. So when I deliver, I'm really moving from a place of transparency and my experience. So everything that I say, I have done for myself. And so for me, I've been on a path now. I'm 34. I've been on a path for 17 years of being a vegetarian and utilizing these is just very natural from the earth that, you know, we've been stripped and told not to do, or it being replaced with some, you know, poison, like, you know, regular vinegar off the shelf. Like, no way, shape, or form should you be inserting that anywhere, doing anything with that in any form or fashion. It is not meant for you. It's poison. So I love apple cider vinegar, you know, and my children, if they're coming down with something, boom, like that's the remedy for so many different things on so many levels. But for the woman, it's a powerhouse, honestly.
Yes. Okay. Well, we need to talk then, because we were talking about those things and having what they call a midwife to assist some of the sisters that actually are reaching out and looking for that. You know, there's always the travel, how far away they are, whatever like that. But we'll get together on that.
Please do. I'll be at class tomorrow, because I think we, you know, last week with the snow and everything. So
yeah. Well, we broadcast the class though, so you can always, like you said, making these classes available. They're already archived, so you can go on and listen to them or download them or whatever. All right. So thank you for the call. Thank you. We will get in touch with you about the what they call midwifery. There are people who are interested, I'm sure.
Yeah, I was speaking up. She dropped some jewels.
Yes, she did. She dropped the real jewels. She sure did.
Sister Mala, thank you for calling in on that. Sure.
All right, that is our last caller, and that concludes this broadcast. Make sure and check us tomorrow for Moor's Heritage and History School, near Harlem Corporation at Northwest Maxim.
7:30
p.m. And, we shall see you back here next Tuesday for another episode of Principles of Nationality in Action. Peace and love.
And love to all. All right.
Our problem is lack of knowledge and the intended deceit and trickery done, because even those who read the bibliotheory that you call the Bible says he shall fool even the most elite. So even those who think they're highly educated and this and that, they've been fooled. That's it. It's not really complicated.
It's the miseducation of the Negro. Everybody knows it, to those who need to know. It's the miseducation of the Negro. When we rise from the dead, they call us Pharaoh. It's the miseducation of the Negro. Everybody knows it, to those who need to know. It's the miseducation of the Negro. When we rise from the dead, they call us Pharaoh. The gods are back, the Moors are strapped. We waking up, and we want our land back. Running off, that's a trap. You know them gods don't like that. Waking up from a nap, like where the hell my crown at? Take a step back, like I know this bitch ain't bite back. It's kinda crazy how this karma it strikes back. We enslaved the Slavs, so they slaved us right back. We called them niggas, then they niggered us right back. We brought them to light, but they ain't bring that right back. If I was lazy, dirty dancing with the baby, then maybe, then just maybe won't revolt like Haiti. I too strong, Lova, Tor, Marcus Garvey, your ass. Nova, Julia, our leading God, body the man. Now I ain't gotta be bad, and you ain't gotta be mad, but the planet is heating up, so the first I'll be last. I got that melanin that's better than anything you ever medicine. We at your front door, wonder why you never let us in. Oh, I get it, you never wanted to put some credits in. Well, just forget it, cause I don't know if you can edit sin. We've been enlightened long before Thomas Edison. Skeletons to prove that you wasn't even was your deficit? Captain Caveman with the plan of the Jesuits. Check my bloodline, but in time I bring the evidence. Self-governing body, so I don't need no president. Democrat, Republican, donkey versus elephant. I studied in law, so I ain't down with none of that. I self-law in master, so I'm running that. This Molotov counter burns faster, so I like them that. Despite the fact that ain't even what I'm mad at. I spit the truth, so here's the roof, so you can that. My skin is brown and here's the proof, but you ain't hearing that. Dead in the eyes of the law, that's why they call you black. Naming all caps when you fall, that's why I strike back. And strike that from the record ab initio. You gon' need more than some pressure, I got a vicious flow. I can take the road to the high, or I can hit them low. Try to calcify my third eye, or you gon' have to go. Chemtrails all over the sky, and you don't wanna know. Don't go inside of my tribe, they coming no more.
If you believe that your history started on a slave boat, I can guarantee you that's where it ended too. That's what I'm saying. Then, after saying that, and so believe me, go back and do some studies past the 1700s, and I'll guarantee you, sure as you're sitting there listening, or wherever you are, watching, listening, you will find nothing but the word Moor, and that's another thing. Because we weren't called black. That description, maybe, black or more or whatever, but that's it. Know the difference between a description and an actual, person, place, or thing, noun. I mean, really.
It's the miseducation of the Negro. Everybody knows it, to those who need to know. It's the miseducation of the Negro. When we rise from the dead, they call us Pharaoh. It's the miseducation of the Negro. Everybody knows except those who need to know. It's the miseducation of the Negro. When we rise from the dead, they call us Pharaoh. From the pyramids to the project, the beginning is the part they want you to forget. Implant your memory with that noose around your neck. It's the king out for planning, it's set in full effect. The butler, the help, in 12 years a slave. Django and Selma, they get them accolades. They made a movie called Exodus about the gods and kings with an all-white cast from Egypt. Now that's the same. They ain't never seen no movie about no European slaves. We were traveling the seas when they was living in caves. We had to civilize them, show them how to behave. In fact, we brought them light and taught them how to bathe. This is trading places with stolen identity. We agreed to be educated by our own enemy. Reverse psychology, I'ma need a lobotomy. An exorcism just to get this shit about of me. Roz Mariah, Anna Eve, Miss Raheem, Tariq, Cujo from Cannonland. Listen to them speak. How to learn from the best. I don't need no DNA test. The nations in my womb has given from the breast. The empire's back, so you know what's next. The Moors are waking up, now you must confess. Yes, yes. The Moors are waking up, now you must confess.
Birthright theft. The whole deal was, where's my land that, for them, the whole deal was like, this is really quote-unquote promised land. This is really the quote-unquote heart of civilization. This is really what you might call Northwest Africa. That's what, and I say that to people so they can stop saying I'm going back to Africa and understand that they're in it. It's the Garden of Eden.
That's what they had in Columbus's journal that they arrived
Absolutely.
in Eden.
So what has happened is absolute lies. That's right. And the land of milk and honey is another terminology. So these things are important because as you're doing studies, and if it says the land of milk and honey, you need to know they're talking about the North American continent. If you don't know that, then you miss it. And that's part of our problem. That part of our problem is the miseducation. We have been lied to, lied to, lied to, lied to, lied to, lied to.
With Domino's new Piece of the Pie rewards, you earn a free medium 2-topping pizza after just 6 online orders of $10 or more. Need some reasons to order?